There we go. Might want to cut this down a little bit, a little hot on here. So I just want to welcome you all out and you all online as well for our Vision Night. I just really feel like going into 2026, God has called us to a bigger vision, something that kind of encompasses reaching the world, reaching far extending what we're doing here in Kingsport. And I'm going to break it down with you just the vision that God has laid up on my heart to how to carry us into 2026. So, welcome to the Awaken Creative Vision Night. So, I'm excited for y'all to be here, excited for y'all to hear what all God has got laid on my heart. And some of y'all kind of sit back, well, what about, aren't you a church? Well, to an extent, but I'm going to unpack this. So, Awaken here Awaken as a whole is a movement. We are a movement, a moving body of pieces, and we are so much more than just a pastor and just a church. We are called to be creation kingdom, and we are all we're all about content, but content creation lives under this umbrella. So everything that we do is going to be under the Awaken umbrella because it is a movement as a whole. So everything kind of falls underneath it. And it's kind of broke down into some different components in different ways. So as you can see, as we carry on, Awaken Church, that's what we've been doing. It is going to be steadfast, and I'll break that down to you. But Awaken Church is still going to be under the umbrella of Awaken. And then we're going to have the Awaken Creatives, which is going to be a very huge incentive or movement in a lot of ways because I feel like we're going to do some documentary stuff. We're going to do some testimony stuff. We're going to do some influential stuff and really kind of get out on the Awaken Creatives. And then next, we're going to have the Awaken Sessions, which is going to be a music creative as I break that down. And then we're going to have the Awaken BZRK or Berserk. And that's going to be the fun one that y'all definitely want to hear about, get excited about, rejoice about, because I feel like sometimes Christians take themselves a little too seriously, but we are going to unpack each one of these four things as we go into 2026. We can get excited what God's going to do through each one of these things and the opportunities He's going to present through these because the mission field is there. The mission field is open, the mission field is available, and that's why we're here. And that's why you're here. And we really want to reach out to why we're here and the parts that God has called us to play because it isn't just about what I'm doing. It just isn't about what we're doing here in this house. It's about what each part that each person has to play. And being very creative is why God has put us away. So God is awakening creativity in a lot of ways. Media is a mission field. Social media is this mission field that you see is ripe. It's ready. And a lot of younger generation is moving on to social media and finding inspiration from it and finding encouragement from it and getting to hear about Jesus. A lot of amazing creative people out there online already, but this is a movement, not just content. We're going to do more than just content because, I mean, a lot of people are creating just content. But we want to see a movement getting people to move back to Christ, move back to what He's called us to, get back to how He's designed it, and get back people to Jesus. So we are a movement. And that's the amazing thing. Your gifts matter in this thing because the church is never meant to be just a pastor on a stage because so many times I feel like we got to have a pastor to present the gospel here. We got to have a worship team, and then we got to have student ministries, and then we've got all these already preconceived notions what church is supposed to look like. But the church is the people, so everybody has a part to play. Everybody, especially creative people, because we serve a very creative God, a very creative God, and with a very creative God, He has designed us to be creative. And that's where our heart, that's where the mission field is being able to see creative people move out from the place of complacency, the place of dreaming, because we want to be a place for dreamers with vision and hope and being able to spread the encouragement, be able to step into what God has for them because time is now. So many people sit on their talent. So many people sit and they dream. How many people would be willing to admit that they're dreamers? You are dreamers. We're created to be dreamers. And especially when we're kids, we have these big visions, these big dreams. We pretend. And at some point on the way, we kind of lose sight of that, of being dreamers. But what if God's called us to be dreamers, visionaries? So I really want to help people connect to that, to awaken that inside of people. So we want to be able to reach people through creativity. We want to be able to build teams that create with purpose. And then we want to capture and share real stories. We want to be real. We want to be honest. We want to be transparent. We want to reach people right where they're at and make people feel like God wants to move in their lives. So we want to create these environments. So we have this vision to be able to do things differently. So kind of coming back to the Awaken Church, we have just been getting started, I feel like, in a lot of ways. I think God is gearing up for a shift to take place. And I feel like Awaken Church is a movement in itself to awaken the church as a whole and awaken what we're doing here as well. So with Awaken Church, we got several different opportunities. We want to be spiritually and impact focused content behind this. And then some of those things we do already, we do the sermons online, which my vision, or God's vision is I'm not called to be the sole speaker here. We really feel like we need to be a place that are seeing people come in and learning to hone those gifts and be able to be encouragers for Christ and teachers and preachers and be able to step into that and be able to send them out to the mission field. I'd love this to be a place where people can come and get trained up and then send them out to go speak at other churches, go out and speak open air, go out and speak in places that God has called them and wherever their heart could be, where they can take this message outside of these four walls and inside and reach people and make an impact. So the sermons and the teachers and the preachers are really where we're going to see this take hold. So Awaken Church has that. If that's your calling, if that's your passion, I'd love to see you be able to step into that here at Awaken Church. And with the sermons, we also here create more content in-house from our very next from the worship we create here, because we do. And I'm going to unpack sessions, but here in the house, we'd love to see people come in and be able to create moments of worship and surrender and praise to Jesus. And that's one of the things that we want to create in the house. That we want to see worship leaders step in and be called and be able to be in the atmosphere. So Awaken Church, we do that as well as testimonies. I would love to see people come in and be able to share their stories. I'd love to actually record their stories and actually do more than just someone coming on stage and just telling their story. I'd love to create kind of a theatrical feel behind some people's stories and testimonies and create content to go out to awaken other people to what God can do in somebody's life. Because one of the greatest tools anyone's been given is your story. Because your story is unique to you. And your uniqueness in your story can go to someone else and it might connect with them in their own special way. Your stories have power. Our testimonies have power. And how beautiful is that to be able to create stories and people to be able to share what God has done in their life. So testimonies is big. And then also we want to be very community driven in a lot of ways. We want to see awakened churches pop up more places and all interconnected, but in a way where they're actually the communities are better because we are in it, because we are called to be able to build community. We want to make an impact. Especially in 2026, we want to step into that even more, into that arena, and figure out how we can make an impact as a body. We want to be community driven. And next thing that we are really pouring into this new season is our Awaken Creative side. As this, a lot of this overflows out of creative people coming together and be able to dream big together and have vision together. So Awaken Creative, I'm going to unpack it a little bit. Should have put a little slide in the middle so I didn't jump right to it. But anyway, we'll carry on. Awaken Creative. Awaken Creative is going to focus on a few things. The creative engine behind everything is the Awaken Creative. And that's where we are going to come together. We're going to have those rooms where we get to decide and be able to create content. Because several things that we want to see also create out of Awaken Creative is I'd love to see some short films coming into play. I'd love to see be able to record some things. And that's where a lot of people on the kind of the other people can come together and pull it together. So short films is going to be one of our focuses. Also with short films, documentaries. How awesome would it be to be able to see some content come out outside of that of people creating documentaries and being able to share what God is doing all around and be able to create God moves in documentary style and be able to follow other people and see where God's moving and come experience. How awesome would it be when these revivals pop up? We had some documentary people who would go out and kind of document the story behind these revivals and see how God's moving in those things. So So this is content I'd love to see coming out of the creative side, and documentaries as well, podcasts. I know we've done a few podcasts along the way, but I'd love to see more people stepping in to the podcast that God's told them to start, both video and audio podcasts, whatever that may be. But I'd love to see creative people come beside. Well, I've got an idea for a podcast and really pour into that as well. So on the creative side, podcasts are going to be a big opportunity. And jump to two of them, but that's all right. Oh, go ahead. I'll break them down too. Storytelling as well, because everybody's got the story a little bit further in than just testimonies, is being able to tell real stories and be able to share our passions and God-given gifts, and be able to tell the stories behind this, because who loves a good story, and be able to tell Christ-centered stories and get that to video through all different ways. And also ministry highlight. I'd love to be able to highlight different ministries that are making an impact as well, and just do kind of some highlight segments to be able to do that. So throughout Awaken Creative, we have all those opportunities and so much more. These are just the highlight reel, because I want to encourage y'all, come in with your God-sized vision, and let's figure out how we can work together to make those things happen, whatever that looks like, because you each have a voice. You have a voice that God wants to use greater than anything else. So you have the opportunity. Maybe that's what God's really speaking into some of y'all to connect with as well. Next thing that we are really excited about, that's kind of been stirring around and we've been dreaming of, is the Awaken Sessions. And the Awaken Sessions is going to be a unique type of thing, because it's going to be some content that we want to come together and create. And the Awaken Sessions is going to be a few different things, but we're wanting to create original worship music and hooks to really hook people and draw people in and be able to connect with them in those ways, and build songs from real stories and testimonies. One of the greatest things I think that I really believe that we're called to do is being able to create these hooks and be able to share stories with one another, be able to share the real stories behind the hooks, because it is so much more than just creating music, because it gives us more opportunity. I'd love to get your stories, because every good song usually comes from a place of hurt or brokenness or healing or love or anything else. So on the front side with all these hooks, I'd love for people to be able to tell the story behind these songs, be able to tell their story behind what God is doing through the music, and be able to really connect, because it's going to connect on a deeper way than just performing a song. It's going to connect, say, hey, that's my story too. And it connects them to the ability to be able to sing and to worship and to connect to those things. Uh, and the next thing is we want to also collaborate with artists, writers, and musicians. It is more than just what we're doing. It is creating this creating room where we can come together. Somebody will have an idea for a song, and then you have other people come alongside of them and help build upon that, write upon that, help us kind of tune in it and really get something that's going to connect with people. And so we want to help one another in having writers' room, kind of writer room style environments where we come together and we write the lyrics. We work through the music and put the pen to the paper and help people come up with lyrics, help people come up with the music, instrumental segments of those, and all those things being able to do. So that is big with artists, writers, and musicians. And we want to capture raw, spirit-led moments as well in the creative process. So we're going to have some behind the scenes so people connect with what's going on. We want to be able to people to connect with the whole processes, because people love a good behind the scenes in a lot of ways, and hear the processes behind it, be able to highlight some processes behind it, and really kind of bring those to the front. So sessions is going to be so much more than just creating. Turn that volume up some more on the. Hang on. No, I bet they turn it down on the. All right, now it's probably gonna work. Sorry. So they had that turned all the way down. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. And that's kind of the amazing thing that we get to do is also we want to release content online and launch hook challenges. Because the thing about it, I'd love for when we hone some of these, be able to record these hooks and do videos of these hooks where people are performing these songs. And the thing about it, when if a hook really catches traction, if it gets people start liking it and really picks up momentum, I'd love to record like the full song and really put it to the track and actually put music out. So we are going to be content creators that we want to create music. We want to create these songs. Yeah, yeah. All right. Anyway, tell them I'm not available. Whoever's calling. But yeah, maybe. But I want to create music and be able to get people, be able to create content because I'm here to tell you a sermon that I preach. Somebody will remember it maybe what a week later, maybe a couple days later. But a song, how quick does a song get stuck in your head? And you keep hearing it over and over again. So I want to create that content to be able to reach the world and have create musicians behind it. And I want to give people platforms to do the hook challenges, and we will throw a few different hooks out there and see which people really like and gravitate to, and the ones that really if they gain enough momentum to go. What do you call it when it viral? That's it. I knew the word. I couldn't think of it. But when they go viral, to really record and put record those out and actually get them out online and actually see uh, put that out there so content so we have the opportunity to step into the music arena and the worship arena so far more than just a church environment. I want to see musicians come in and rise up and kind of get a little bit of backing behind them, a little bit of people being able to notice, be able to send them out as well. And I love to see musicians come through Awaken, and just not just Sunday morning worship, but actual songwriters and maybe some country musicians. We got any country musicians in here? Rock musicians, hip hop, whatever it may be, but actually create a record label through Awaken to be able to get content out and connect people to that. And I want to give them the platform to help get them to where they want to be. But it all starts with creating moments and creating stories and creating the songs and connecting with people because that's how we're going to build the platforms is connecting with people. And it's got to be real. It's got to be honest. So sometimes those songs that really connect so deeply with you all is probably those songs that really touch on your story, right? Touch to your heartache, right? Maybe some moments that just maybe moments of joy, whatever. But a good song connects. So it's about creating content that connects people. So we want to create through sessions, online music, and have these writers' rooms and just record and and we'll even have sometimes we'll sit around just a group of people and just play music and put that out there live, whatever it may be. But it's all these are all just brainstorming ideas because, like I said, everybody's got a part to play. So we've all got a voice and figure out where God's leading us in all those. So sessions is going to be a huge thing that I'm excited about. I know we've been talking about that for a while. And then finally, one of the things that we want to start here because we don't want to ever take ourselves too seriously. Oftentimes, people look at Christians as being kind of stagnant, kind of stale, kind of stuffy, kind of got it all together, right? Well, that's where Berserk comes in. I'm really wanting to create some content also that takes it a little step further. It's going to be the actual not so serious side of church, not so serious side of Christianity. It's going to kind of where we can poke fun of ourselves and create content. So it's going to be the high energy, Christ centered comedy and skits that I want to put together. So I don't know who that speaks to, but maybe you've always dreamed about being a comedian or being an actor or being any of those things. And I think that's really going to connect with things where it's really not going to be so serious. Creative chaos with purpose, kind of how I see it. Because does anybody watch online some of those comedians or some of those channels that's actually they do like some of those improv things and all those things, kind of doing some of those things and challenges, games, whatever we can think of, but creative chaos with purpose. Or challenges, games, and big personality moments where we really get to reflect the not so serious side and not take ourselves so seriously. home for bold, fearless creators, those who don't care to make a fool of themselves. I don't know about you all, but sometimes I tend to make a fool of myself when I don't even intend to. So uh, I would love to really step into that where we don't have to take ourselves so seriously. And it's going to be, like I said, perfect for actors, comedians, and on camera talent, whatever that may be. But creating content that people actually enjoy to watch, that people really draw people in. And everybody loves a good laugh, right? Especially how in our society and how serious some things can be. People like comedy. So reaching people through joy, humor, and creativity, because it's going to connect in a greater way. It's going to get people interested in what we're creating. It's going to get people interested in what we're doing. So that's going to be the not so serious side of the things that we're creating. I'm going to do this. All right. But we also need some behind the scenes people. So maybe you are not the person to step out on front lines and preach or teach or do comedy or do skits or do music or any of those things. But everybody has a part to play. Maybe you've got an interest and you can do some good lighting. You can make sure the lights are bright and make sure the lights focus where it needs to be, and to tell us, hey, you're too dark in some areas. When sound and audio techs, because we have all that needs to be going, especially when we start recording and start doing these things. We will need people to run the sound on those things. And then we have the opportunities also for uh, oftentimes pro presenters, like things like this, especially when we start doing more challenges and stuff, that we need people to run that, so you can be behind the scenes for that. Maybe even camera operators. You can be behind the scenes because maybe you've got videography talents. Maybe you are a good videographer. You know how to get the right scenes. You know how to position the camera just right so shadows ain't in the way. You know how to do all those. Maybe that's a talent that you have, or you just stage crews in general, that you are good behind the scenes. And I'm here to help. Whatever you need, awesome. We'll figure out a place for you to be set up and tear down, because we're going to, especially when we start doing some of the skits and some of the games, some of the music, we'll have some things to set up, some environments to create. So maybe it's just stepping in to that as well. And production assistance, we all need a little help along the way. So you want to help in the production side of things. So it's all part. Or the biggest thing is video editors. Maybe we got some video editors out here. I'm going to do my best with it if we don't end up having any, but maybe you've got that talent and you've just been looking for a place to use that talent, because this content that we're creating has to be edited and put out and done well. So we have options for that. So there's plenty of options behind the scenes if you're not called to be up front. If you're not called to be center stage on any of these things, it's all right. We've got places for you, and you don't need to be a pro. We're going to learn this together. I'm not an expert in this. I am learning as I go, and I'm probably going to watch a lot of YouTube videos of how to do certain things to figure it out. So we are in it together, and there's a place for your gifting. Learn, create, and collaborate. This is about a collaboration. This isn't just about Awaken Church. It's about Awaken, and it's about the church as a whole. It's about creating content that's going to change lives. And what we're building, a unified creative team, a strong content pipeline, a kingdom impact media, and a culture of excellence, because we want to do everything with excellence. But yet, we want to create, we want to be creators. So we are excited for what God is doing, excited for the pieces that God's put together, excited for what we get to step into. And this is just the vision night. And we're getting ready to step into those things. We'll actually set up some dates to actually figure out and do some brainstorming sessions of what's next in any one of those arenas. So it is an exciting time, an exciting way to approach it. But I feel like with all this being an umbrella thing, every one of them is going to feed into one another, because we'd love to see the people behind the scenes be able to do the sessions and maybe BZRK, or even if they feel called to in a church setting. Not everybody has to be involved in all those. You can figure out your lane, get involved, attached to whatever that lane is, but figure it out, pray about it, and find your lane. Maybe it's all lanes. I don't know. I'm probably going to do a little bit of everything. I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. Might end up throwing something at me when I try to sing on the session side, but we'll see. But there's a place for everybody. There's a place to connect, because I really feel like this is the time now to create this content, to go into the mission field that people are looking for, because people are hungry right now. People are finding content online and connecting to it. And if we really want to be everywhere that God's called us to be, that's how we will get there. We will create and be creative, just like we've got a very creative God. So, all right. So I've got questions and answers. If anybody's got any questions, go ahead. No, like I said, you get to pick your lane. No, you don't have to go to church here. Anyway, no, you don't have to be connected. Like I said, it's whatever God lays on your heart and whatever you want to connect to. Any other questions? Anybody? Go ahead. Absolutely. We're all learning. We're all trying to figure this out together. We don't have it all together. We are going to learn this step by step. And if you all know anybody who might have some of these gifts that want to come teach or be a part of it in that way, absolutely connect to them. Or maybe you know some people that would really feel called to this. Like I said, this is just the vision out. This is just to throw out this, to pitch these ideas of what we really called to do in 2026. So yeah, so absolutely, we are learning together. We are gonna, maybe it's time to pick up, figure out some of these things. Like I really like to learn how to video edit. So maybe it's just right. Yeah, amen. So we are in this together. Any more questions? Nobody? No questions. Any questions online, Timmy? Where you can ask questions online if you're there with Timmy. What's my question? I don't know. I'm the one giving the answers. I didn't know it was ask any questions. But yeah, but we're all in this together. We're all learning together. But I just really feel like there's so many opportunities for people to step into it, and it's just not about a church service. It's about doing more. Yeah. Well, how often? Well, that's we'll have to figure this out during our brain. Like, if we got to come up with good ideas first, because I want to do everything with excellence. So that's where the creative rooms are going to come in, to where we figure out, hey, what are the people most called to? And after this, we're going to actually sit and talk about it and say, maybe your heart's not in any of this at all, but maybe your heart's in a certain area. And we really want to focus on wherever the most people feel called to in this moment, and figure out how to do that well. And then we'll start branching out and do more and more dependent on what it is. So it's all, once we start brainstorming, coming up with ideas, then it's all about putting pen to paper and actually start recording and videoing and creating moments to create the content. So that's going to be the fun side for some of us. I don't know about for everybody, but it's going to be the fun side. Well, transportation options, find a buddy. We'll figure it out. I don't know. Hopefully. Right? Yeah, yeah. We're just going to have to get Carlo a bus to drive. Yeah, she just needs a minivan. So we will figure that out. Hopefully, we have some people in the communities that will be able to uh, lean on one another and be able to help one another out through these things. She drives a minivan. There you go. Well, nobody needs safety, do they? Just throw them in there. You fit more people in that way. Just stack them in there. Yeah, you have opportunities there. All right. Any more questions? Platforms right now, well, I'm open to all different platforms, just where we want to go, where they are. Different content works in different ways. I know the big main things, probably Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, some of those things. We'll figure out how to create content specifically for each one of those areas and try to create content for those areas. Maybe along the ways, we have some Christian gamers who love video games and being able to share the message. You can do what's that one site that for video gamers? Twitch. Maybe they can do Twitch. I don't know. We'll learn as we go and figure out what outlets we need to connect to. Go ahead, Timmy. We'll get there eventually on that end, Timmy. But as far as videography, I do know some videographers that will help along the way till we get rooted and get started. So there's people along the way that I'm going to lean heavily on that know these processes better than I. So yeah. Any more questions? Anybody? Everybody good? All right. So yeah, so we've definitely got a lot of planning, a lot of anticipation, and a lot of excitement to build behind these. And I think once we start creating content, that it'll draw more people in that want to get connected with it. So they are going to be options. They're going to, so whatever that may be, whatever your talent, whatever your gifting is, we want to connect you. We want to figure out how to use those things because it is more than just what I'm doing. Each one of you, I've got a part to play. Yeah. So we're excited about 2026. Are y'all at least a little bit excited? We're believing God in greater things. We're believing that God has called us to build and to build platforms and be creative. And Awaken is a movement. We're never meant to be in a building all the time. We're never meant to be in these four walls. We're meant to take the content out where it can reach the people the most. And that's what we want to do. We want to be genuinely pursuing people wherever they're at and doing everything. And we have a saying here at Awaken, we want to do everything short of sin. We're not going to sin to do it, but we want to do everything short of sin to reach the world, to reach people. So that is our heart. That's our desire, and that's what we plan on doing. So it is an exciting season. It's exciting times, and it's going to take us all because I'm here to tell you, one or two people are not going to be able to pull this off. But when we come together and believe in God and greater things and pull together, God is going to move. So we're excited. Plenty of opportunities to connect as well because we do a lot of stuff during the summer. I know maybe even on the Awaken Sessions side, we can have some musicians ready enough for the Awaken Summer or the summer worship nights that we do every year. Not Awaken, but summer worship nights that we do every year. Maybe we can have a band on the stage at that point in time, but we'll see. We got options, but we'll see where God takes it. So I'm excited. So, any other questions? Are we good? All right. Thank you all and I'm not running you off. I'm just going to close the online portion, but thank you all for tuning in and being online. Thank you all for coming in. And now we're just going to kind of break up and see where your all's heart is and see which one of those areas really spoke to any one of y'all, if any areas. But I'd love to hear what God is speaking to you. But thank you all for coming out and being a part of the vision night.